What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfire. So first up, no spoilers in this. I know there are a lot of you who are actually planning on seeing Kraven this weekend, given the comments at the channel over the last couple of days. So I'm not going to ruin anything for you, and really, there's not a lot to spoil here anyway, but we'll get into that during the video. That being said, was Kraven a good movie? It sort of depends on what you were expecting it to be, and while I don't think there was anybody here at the channel who was going to go into this expecting an Oscar-worthy film, I think there are some things that the film did right. Unfortunately, there just weren't enough things. We're going to break down Kraven the Hunter in a non-spoiler review. We're also going to talk about how it was pretty much DOA, and that is not the fault of Kraven or Aaron Taylor Johnson. Just a quick reminder, though, to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. We're also giving away a PS5 in a couple of weeks for What If Season 3. If you want to be entered to win, just hit that sub button, leave a comment down below. We get into all the giveaway stuff at the end of the video. Okay, so the thing that I walked away from thinking was my biggest gripe with the film, and you can take this how you want, is that whole intro part, the setting up his origin story, not the fact that they changed it from the comics, but the whole pacing of the first act of the film just felt very slow and lethargic, almost like it soured the action that we finally get to, and especially since it undercut some of the stuff it was trying to set up in the very first act. Now, Kraven is nowhere near as bad as Morbius and Madam Web. So if you're going into it this weekend wondering maybe on a scale of 1 to 10 where I would put it, 5 or 6 is about right, because there were some likable things about the film. Aaron Taylor Johnson did not phone his role in, although some of the actors around him may have. And he's not the problem with the film either. I feel like I've been able to say that a couple of times with actors here recently. You can't outact a really bad script. And I think what some of the inherent problems with this film actually reside in the dialogue and some of the writing, where the plot narrative at times seemed to go off the rails and be a bit disconnected, and some of the dialogue is just bad. It's irredeemably bad. Doesn't matter how good Aaron Taylor Johnson or how sincerely he actually delivered the lines, some of the dialogue is super cheesy. But again, I wasn't expecting much better than that going into this. I expected a Kraven film that was bloody and visceral. And in that regard, Kraven actually succeeded. It makes me wish that they had actually done this for the Venom franchise so we could have had a R-rated Carnage movie. Now, of course, that wasn't to be, and as I said in one of our videos from a couple of days ago, it may be a little too late now with the R rating for this. They should have thought about maybe doing that a little bit earlier, but the action is good. The stunts and the kills, it's all very satisfying and visceral. Hardly the problem with that film, and so I would say, again, depending on what you needed Kraven to do for you, which a lot of us I don't think are going to go into it hoping it's, you know, the intellectual watch that certain other films may be, I think it's perfect for what it is. It's a B or C grade action film that would be great to stream at home one night if you got nothing to watch or on the plane. Or if you go and see it in the theaters, you'll probably be mildly entertained. I just feel like at this point, there were two major hangups with the film. Number one, it went viral everywhere that Sony's officially ending their Spider-Verse in less than 48 hours before this movie dropped. And guys, I can't lie, that's what was in my head the entire time. As I was driving to the theater, in the movie theater, watching it, oh wow, this is the last movie in the live-action Spider-Verse. They are officially ending it, and I can't help but think that has nothing to do with Kraven, nothing to do with the film itself, but that has everything to do with Kraven and everything to do with the film itself, because it's a microcosm of the problem with the Spider-Man-less Spider-Verse. Why are you even making these films in the first place? And without a Spider-Man and not connected to the MCU, the wonderment of what comes next, how this all ties together, where the story is going, is just basically killed. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do singular, insular, one-off movies, but maybe not with a Spider-Man villain without a Spider-Man. That's what we know that IP as. So was Kraven great? No. Was Kraven terrible? Absolutely not. Was it satisfying in some parts with the kills and stuff? Yeah, but will I ever rewatch it again? Probably not. Very low rewatchability, maybe on the plane if there's nothing else on there on a Delta flight across the country, but it's very unlikely that this film is going to be able to basically succeed in the landscape in which it was released. And I know that there are a lot of people who are still going to go see it and maybe enjoy it this weekend, which is why I'm happy not to spoil things. Again, there's only a couple of main plot points that you may or may not have seen coming towards the end of the film, and it's really dependent on how much you know about Spider-Man lore in the first place. If you're super up to date, you might just know it immediately, and then it's not really the biggest twist in the world. But look, I think there's no bigger sign then Sony knew this movie was dead on arrival and had no plans of trying to save it, than the fact that there's no post-credit scene. That is about as communicative as Sony can be, is like, look, we're not teasing anything because this isn't going anywhere. I don't know if some of you saw the headlines, but literally as I was finishing production on this video, I took a break to go get dinner, came back, and then did this cut-in because apparently, somehow, the box office tracking for this film has gotten even worse. It was already projected on a budget of over $100 million to make less than Madam Web its opening weekend, but now it's down from that to somewhere near $13 million, which is an absolute travesty, a tragedy as far as how expensive these films are to make and how little profitability they have. Somehow, in some way, Hollywood still finds a way to take IP that nobody knows and make it profitable. A good director and a good script with a good eye for cinematography can make a great film that can find 10x even on the smallest budget. Then you have $100 million monoliths like this that find a way to absolutely tank even when they're banking on the Spider-Man IP. They still can't find a way to make money, and at the end of the day, that's why all of this is coming to an end. Now, people have pointed out the real reason that Sony has probably never put a Spider-Man of any kind, Peter Parker, Miles Morales, insert your own Spider-Man from across the Spider-Verse here. The reason he's never been in any of these films is because it's very clear that the contractual obligations that they have re-signed with Marvel preclude them from doing that. Basically, hey, look, Spider-Man's going to reside over with us when it comes to live action. You have to get our approval if you want to use him for your live action, and that's why they haven't any Spider-Man in any of these films. And I don't know who's to blame for that, either Sony or the lawyers, but my basic thing in life has always been this. No one has ever made real strides in life by basically straddling the fence. And so since Sony has decided to let the crown jewel of Spider-Man IP in Spider-Man reside for live action over at Marvel, then the rest of the live action stuff should reside over there as well. They've got their PlayStation game, they've got Spider-Man and a ton of other fronts across their entertainment division. When it comes to live action stuff, just let Marvel handle it. And look, we all love a great headline in Hollywood. Sony officially ends the Spider-Verse, but we still have a live-action Nick Cage-led TV show that's coming to Amazon Prime, and I don't even know what to think of that. I have an open mind, and he's great in the animated Spider-Verse, but still, Amazon has shown that they will take a show and put a lot of money behind it, so there are a lot of reasons to believe that's going to be good. And there's still the same thing happens. If it's not in the MCU, it's not part of the greater story. And I think that's the main front that all of these Venomverse movies suffered on. And while Sony may throw up the Hail Mary miracle and somehow get Tom Hardy's Venom crossed over with the MCU and Tom Holland's Spider-Man, the rest of these characters will be the only ones who aren't on the table for Avengers Secret Wars, right? We have Fantastic Four characters and X-Men characters coming back from 20 years ago, but you can believe there won't be any Morbius or Madam Web or Kraven showing up in Avengers Secret Wars. They will be the only ones in a world where they canonized everything that are sitting on the outside looking in that aren't part of it. And that's been the problem since day one. And so really here we are. Sony's got to dump everything into the MCU when it comes to live action Spider-Man, including upcoming Miles Morales projects, etc. And if they choose not to do that and wait 3 or 4 years and then try to do this same garbage all over again, well, I don't know what else to say, but that would definitely be Sony. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below. Again, are you planning on seeing Kraven this weekend? Don't let anybody's bad reviews sort of taint your own opinion. Go to it, and if you enjoy it, you don't owe anybody an explanation. We all have different opinions. I like stuff, y'all didn't. You guys probably like movies, I didn't. So if you're planning on going to see it, go to the theater this weekend, have a good time watching Kraven kill dudes. Let me know your thoughts down below. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. Next one's right around the corner for the finale of What If. Just be a sub and leave a comment. Super simple to be entered to win. Those are the only rules, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Remember to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on to keep up with stuff at the channel, and of course, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me over on Twitter and Instagram at IamFires. Find me on all platforms with original music under the name All Fires. Thanks for checking out the channel, guys. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.